Let's continue the discussion with weight loss and now focus on your diet. Diet plays an immensely important part of weight loss. It is true that you can lose weight through diet alone. This is why you see a large number of diets on the market that some are successful for some people. You don't need to exercise in order to lose weight. That's just the way the world works and how our bodies are built. To lose weight, as we've discussed, weight is a consequence of a calorie deficit. And you can accomplish that just by reducing the number of calories that you consume and therefore experiencing that weight loss. Of course, that's not to say that exercise doesn't carry a range of benefits, including an enhanced rate of weight loss and many other general health, well-being, mood, and psychological benefits too. But within this discussion, let's get practical. And let's not go into the theory behind the calorie and the kilojoule, which we have talked about, but let's look at what you can do in order to enhance your nutritional intake and therefore your results both in the short and long term. Now, let's start off with probably the most crucial aspect to your nutrition, and that's to be objective with what you're doing. There's nothing worse than living in denial and thinking that you're following a healthy nutritional regime or a healthy diet when in fact you're not. You have to get real about what you're doing. Now, it is true that over 60% of Australians are overweight. That's not a figure pulled out of the air. That's according to the Australian government. So when we say that we're eating a healthy diet, what is that relative to? Most people within Australia follow a more westernized diet, and that is why we have such an overweight population. So a healthy diet must be healthy, not relative to the average Australian, but healthy according to nutritional guidelines. And those two are poles apart. Now, in order to understand what you're eating, it is important to document exactly what you're doing. What I've found from my professional experience is that a lot of people may perceive their diet to be healthy, but until it's down on paper, it tells a completely different story. One reason why a lot of people are overweight is because they overeat. And little snacks here and there, desserts, junk food, takeaway, whatever it is, it all accumulates over the week and eventually results in your current physique. So start taking a food diary straight away. Get down in black and white over the course of a week how you have eaten. It is so important to see that and look at it in an objective manner. If you don't keep that log, it is easy to forget those small meals here and there. And then it's easy to be completely confused about why you're not losing weight, because in your mind it may appear to be healthy when in fact you need to make some nutritional changes. What I've found the most challenging part to the week is for most of my clients is the weekend. Monday through until Friday, it's easy to adhere to a routine because after all, you're in a work routine, you may be working 9 till 5, and you've got certain breaks throughout the day. You may have a sandwich for lunch, a certain type of dinner at home, your normal breakfast, and maybe a morning tea and an afternoon tea. When it comes to the weekend, for a lot of people, routine goes out the door, and you may be socializing, you may go away for the weekend, and everything changes. That's when we see a lot of alcohol, we see desserts, we see more calorie-rich foods introduced, such as pastas and desserts and other fatty options too. So if you can get that down over a week, you can then look at where your weaknesses are and what needs to be improved. Once you've taken that objective approach and identified exactly where the problems lie, we then have to move on to a planning phase. And you have to be able to plan out your week accordingly before the week has actually started. If you take a full 7 days, Monday through until Sunday, you can identify, all right, what days am I going to be socializing? What days have I got a business lunch on? Are we going away for the weekend? Or how is my routine going to change? That way you can identify which days you're going to allow yourself to maybe have a few extra calories. Let's say you're going out on a Saturday night and you plan on having a few drinks. Well, if you're going to have a few alcoholic beverages on a Saturday night, the rest of the week must be pretty clean and must be pretty conductive of that weight loss that you're looking to accomplish. The goal here is to maintain a good degree of balance throughout the entire week. If your average daily calorie intake is less than your average daily expenditure, you are going to see weight loss over the course of a week. And this is the most important thing to do. So get that plan down. It is important to maintain a degree of balance within your week. For most people, it's not going to work to adhere to a very strict diet for the entire week and attempt to do that long term, especially if you don't enjoy doing that. Having said that, you may enjoy sticking to a healthy approach for every meal. There is certainly no reason why you can't do that, because there are many healthy foods out there and many healthy recipes that you can create in order to keep the calories down and stay in a calorie deficit each day. Just make sure you do have a plan of action. This also does avoid any guilt associated with when you do go out, when you do have a dessert or some ice cream or whatever it is. If it's as part of the plan, it helps to maintain a degree of objectivity that eliminates that emotion and that guilt that can come as associated with that emotion. Often we'll find that guilt is going to do the most damage to your long-term weight loss goals, because once you feel guilty about it, you feel down, and often food is the medication for that guilt. So if you stick with a plan, all the numbers stack up, then you will see those results. The next thing you've got to do is focus on being accountable. Now, often for most of us, being accountable to ourselves is not enough. It certainly helps to set a goal for yourself, have self-affirmations, affirm to yourself that you will accomplish this goal with emotion, so that way it comes down into your subconscious, and your thoughts and feelings therefore transcend into your behaviors. So your eating habits are therefore improved. But why not get everything in your favor? Something else you can do is proclaim your goals to all your friends and family. No one likes being seen or perceived as a failure. So if you go out there on a limb and say, right, I'm going to accomplish X kilos of weight loss, I'm going to accomplish it by this date, you've put yourself out there. Now you have a sense of accountability to maintain that promise that you have spread to the world and to the people who you love. That is going to be a really powerful motivational force. Another sense of accountability is actually hiring a professional. Now, friends and family can help you to a certain degree, but something that many people do experience is that there is a certain drawback to that, and that is that you have a pre-existing emotional relationship with those people. So if they are going to keep you accountable, they can only do so to a certain extent. If they call you out on something, it's very easy to take that personally, and that is going to affect your goals. They are unable to keep you 100% accountable. That is why I would strongly recommend getting the assistance of a professional trainer, someone where the emotion isn't present. You can treat it completely objectively, and therefore you won't be taking that accountability too personally. That will really, really help you to stay accountable long term. Further, now, in addition to that, make sure that you are measuring your progress. If you're using the services of a professional trainer, that's their job, and they will keep tabs on how you are progressing and make modifications to your nutritional approach as necessary. But if you're not, make sure you are taking your weight on a regular basis. I do understand that this is one of the hardest parts of weight loss, especially because weight loss is so closely related to self-esteem and body image. So for many of us, stepping on those scales for that very first time in particular can be a very daunting task. Um, but at the same time, it is a very important step. We need to remain objective, and you need to know exactly where you are, and you need to be able to assess how far you have come in subsequent weeks. So stepping on those scales is a very important process to do. As hard as it may be, remind yourself that what is harder, stepping on those scales and facing reality now, or staying with your current physique and facing reality down the track. Either way, you're going to have to do it, but it's better to get it out of the way now. Remove all denial from this whatsoever and treat it as objectively as possible. Now, dieting and weight loss, it's never hard, but it's never easy. Sorry, it can be quite a challenge. But so long as you plan it out, try to remain as objective as possible, and have some force of motivation and accountability behind you, you're going to be setting yourself up for long-term success. Of course, be sure to educate yourself. Exercise is also a very, very important factor, and that's something that we'll discuss in later video blogs. I wish you all the best. Be sure to go through our nutritional database, as I've mentioned a couple of times in our video blogs, and also make sure that you start taking that food diet right now, and that includes your previous meal as well. All right, all the best.